Morning, everybody. I do a quick video this morning. Internet's slow this morning. Yeah, colder weather, I guess. Well, it's not. It's not cold here right now. I don't know why I would say that. It's not yet. When I get to West Texas this week, it's supposed to get cold on Wednesday. Yeah, out there. It's crazy. We're going to go out there Thanksgiving, see Mom and Dad. Lulu's coming out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so good to see that baby. Maddie FaceTimes with us a lot. We appreciate that. That's nice. But yeah, I don't know why y'all are here. The moose out front should have told you we're closed. Yeah. And that's the way it feels around here these days. You look at all this chaos and you learn about all this deception. And yeah, and you see all these people asleep. It's hard, man. It's hard. This country she gone from what we used to, what we grew up with. You know, you hear the stories, oh, we didn't come home till the street lights come down. Well, that's true. And, all that's gone, man. That's been gone a long time. You know, sit there and you think about, wow, how do people who don't have faith, who don't have Christ in their heart, how do they make it through this stuff? Do they just keep filling, that void with materialism, meaningless sex? And it's hard enough being a Christian and knowing God's got this to not go. This is just too bad. It's too bad. It's just too bad. You can't find an honest broker anywhere. You can't trust an institution. You can't sling a dead cat without hitting an LGBTQ PSMG grab /mark hashtag drop them and slop them. I don't know. What are those people? It's not right. It ain't right. We all know it. We all know it. I was watching Fat Kenny last night. Who Alan had turned me on to, the master, the evil genius Kenny, who's got the whole deal on magnets and stuff. I was watching a little bit last night and somebody brought up flat earth, and I just put a statement in his chat. Kenny's a flat earther, ? And this is the way these geniuses operate. And he said, I'm not a flat earther. And it was a question mark, Kenny. Look at the damn sentence. There's a question mark. I wasn't making a statement that Kenny's a flat earther. I said, is Kenny a flat earther? ? And then I told him, I typed in there that he likes NASA. I don't like NASA. Trust NASA. And I'm like, okay, Kenny. I typed in again. You don't believe in NASA, but you believe in space? That's retarded. What kind of genius are you? Hello? You believe in space, but you don't believe in NASA, whatever. And then, come on, Kenny, man. Come on, man. You're smarter than that. The magnetism, I'm on board with you, Ken. Right there with you, buddy. But if you don't believe in NASA, how do you believe in space? Come on, Kenny. Answer the question. I asked him several times in there. Come on, Kenny. Answer the question. And then he got out there and leather holsters. He made leather holsters for another life. Sorry, guys. I thought I was past that this morning. But obviously not. Hot coffee does it. But it's just, wow, these people. He's so smart. He's figuring out magnetism, and it's magnetism and and the polarity of magnetism and poles, and the, you know, we watched a lot of stuff about this, and that is the gravity's not real. But the man, he still believes that if we do it just right, we can go to Mars. Come on, Kenny. Come on, man. Get that big head working. You can do it. So I know I don't have many subs. I don't have many. Nobody shares my stuff. But if somebody can please get a message to Kenny. Kenny, what is it? You either believe in NASA and space, or you don't believe in either. I don't know how you can. If anybody knows how to reconcile that. Hey, YouTube. Hey, guys. Right here, right now. Huh? Let's take it outside. Take it outside. I can do that right now. Sorry. They're just wanting to play puppy this morning. But, you know, I mean, this guy is a super genius, right? He's a very smart guy. And he talks about all these deep subjects and all this crazy stuff, but he believes in that and space. I don't believe in NASA, but I believe in space. Really? Really? Come on, man. You know, you have teeth and you believe in the tooth fairy. Or which one is it? You believe in the tooth fairy, but you don't believe you have teeth? Which one is it, Kenny? No, man. And the other bad thing about those smart guys like that know they're smart, they will not, and this was what he was saying last night, I don't discuss those things. I don't discuss flat earth. I don't discuss those things. Well, he says, and another one, that, hey, he doesn't debate. He'd like to discuss things, but he doesn't debate. Come on, Kenny, man. You're supposed to be so smart, dude. You'll discuss it, but you won't debate it. You don't believe in NASA, but you believe in space. I don't know that you've got that magnetism stuff right, Kenny. I'm trying to taunt him, guys. I doubt he'd ever see my stuff, but hopefully somebody could share this with him someday, and trying to taunt him into intimidating. But those guys, they do it all the time. I don't discuss that. They'll talk about it at one point and make claims, and then debate somebody on it. I don't debate that. I don't debate it at all. Then shut up, Kenny. Shut up. You bald-headed monkey. That's a... What was the name of his deal last night? Monkey something. The bald-headed monkey show. Something really stupid. I'm sorry. God. These people drive me crazy, man. You're supposed to be a freaking super genius. And by God, you sit there and do that kind of stuff. You know? I just don't understand. I'm looking for something here. Boy, oh, Dana Ashley. If y'all don't watch Dana Ashley, she was on fire, man. She's got some good stuff out there. Really good stuff. I'll put this up here I'll put this up for everybody to see. Let's share screen. She does some really, really good stuff. Miss Dana Ashley. Where did I put her? This is this one she put out, I think a month ago, I guess. And sorry, trying to get on this right. I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Y'all know that.
The news is lying. They're lying. The amount of people that I saw dead was more than what they said.
I'm gonna take a couple days off from posting because I literally watched somebody die right in front of me.
You're trying to breathe, but you can't. Literally, all you can hear is people screaming for help. People screaming that they couldn't breathe.
What was so crazy, like people were help, trying to tell Travis Scott, they was like, help, the whole crowd just want to help. And he just kept going, bro.
And I'm still kind of in shock about it. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I saw girls convulsing on the sides. I saw people passed out in the crowd. I saw people being carried out on stretchers. I saw people being crowd surfed over, passed out.
I've gone to multiple concerts and I've never felt the way I felt watching him as I have other artists.
No one in my section at the time was moving because I think everyone was just in shock of how crazy and how panicked that everyone was. There was a lot of fear in people's eyes, you can see.
I mean, this year was just, something was different. It was just, the energy was crazy, man. I can't even begin to put it into words for you guys, but.
As soon as he jumped out and onto the stage, it was like an energy took over.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was a huge Travis Scott fan. I'm a huge fan of music, and I was just a huge fan of him. But yeah, after the events, I don't. So
I'm 100% convinced that this was literally like an energy harvest. Travis was snatching souls.
After tonight, bro, like, God really showed me, like, like, stay away from that shit, bro. Like, it's not for you, because, like, he sacrificed so many people's lives tonight, like, for real. Like, so many people's lives are gone tonight.
I don't have any words, What to say? I'm blessed. God gave me, blessing. But what happened now? What happened to my blessing now? I want my baby back.
We're grieving. We're in pain. We want you guys to know our brother was the most amazing person ever to us. The closest thing. He took care of my father, my brother. My mother's over there. He died saving his fiance.
Hello, YouTube family. It's me, Miss Dana Ashley. Thank you for being with me today. This video is not a topic that I personally wanted to cover, but I felt led to do so for the benefit of the younger adults and teens who may be trying to make sense of the mess that happened, the mass casualty event that happened at Astroworld in Houston. In case you're not aware, and like me, avoid topics on celebrities, during the concert of singer Travis Scott, 10 young people lost their lives. And here, I would like to discuss the deeper spiritual significance of that. And I included some of the testimonies of some of the families mourning because I don't want anyone to lose sight of their loss here while I talk about some of these very dark topics. So please pray for them. I'm making this video partially in response to the fact checkers. Those fact checkers, who as usual are dismissing claims without evidence. The fact checkers who are trying to quickly shove under the rug claims of this tragedy being related to atanic with an S, rituals with an R, if you know what I mean. I made this to address comments I've seen popping up everywhere like this one. I think it's absolutely ridiculous how people believe this to be a satanic ritual. It's obviously just extreme negligence by everyone in charge. Or you young adults can just blindly believe that TikTok is justified in deleting videos talking about claims of human sacrifice. You need to first understand what the symbols of such things are and were they being presented at this concert. Is there any concrete evidence of these deaths being intentional? The answer is a resounding yes. And in this video, I will prove it. It's important knowledge I'm going to be discussing here because it's going to show you how to interpret the truth in plain sight all around you, because it's so much bigger than this concert. For some of those who did attend, like you saw in the intro, they witnessed the dark spiritual truth of what happened here, and that is a huge silver lining.
I have grown up on Travis Scott, number one artist. Loved him. I've been to multiple of his concerts before he was even Travis Scott. I've never experienced something like this. That man is done.
That so many young people already are, because of this, waking up from their slumber regarding the true purpose of celebrities and the deeper and darker purpose of entertainment and music. So what on earth could these young people be talking about? Was this really a harvest of souls? And could it really be related to anything satanic? First of all, there does seem to be some pretty heavy negligence. We have many testimonies of security guards who were paid to be there that had zero training. Some even admit.
Yeah, guys, just wanted to say real quick on this kind of thing. It's I can't get it together in my head how parents let their kids go to this stuff and follow these people. Do parents just anymore just not care? I guess they don't. They just don't care. Oh, it's just rap. Who cares? Wow. We'll go.
That the majority of the other guards hired wound up partying out in the audience themselves.
I'm now the only security at my station. I'm the only security because everybody else left and went to go enjoy the concert.
We have people admitting that the lack of medical equipment to help with things like heart attacks was nearly non-existent.
They didn't have enough equipment. They didn't have enough defibrillators for heart attack patients. They didn't have enough ambulance carts to get to people that needed help.
I'm here and I need medical assistance. And they only had one oxygen tank to share with 50,000 people.
We have videos of police officers standing around, casually hanging out at the end of the show under the stage as if nothing is happening, when at that point, hundreds were already severely injured and many had died with no one helping them. I'd like to ask why. Now, some of you old school followers of me on YouTube may find some of this 101, but again, this is mainly for those who are not familiar with what the phrase satanic ritual even means. It's for those people thinking, what do you mean Satanism? Don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing as Satan. This is just art. This video is for you. To quickly get the accountability of Travis Scott out of the way, by now everyone has seen that video of him singing, yeah, over and over with this lifeless body. Meanwhile, at that point, there were already many injured and calling to stop the show. But he just goes right back into his song. To give some quick context, here's what normally happens when an audience member even begins to overheat and pass out.
Hold up. Yo. We got a little problem up here.
Pick him up right now.
Everybody up. Sorry, you guys. We gotta look out for safety first, for real.
Someone's fainted again. Excuse me, get right in the middle. This happened last night as well. Are you alright? Can you see? Can someone look like they care, please?
Carefully, very calmly. Move like this right now. Side to side. Everybody that's in the middle. Move, move. Move. Thank you very much.
Let's go over it one more time. When someone falls, what do?
But Travis Scott didn't do that. This next clip, in my opinion, should put him in jail. I'm sure that won't happen. But at this point, to set this up, there's an ambulance in the audience that can't get through. There are people climbing up to the cameramen, screaming at them. People are dead. which causes him to pause briefly, only for Travis to take a vote and then escalate it further instead of helping the dying people. He just said, if everybody good, put your middle finger up to the sky. And two more guys come on stage to try and tell him that people are severely hurt.
Two hands to the sky. 2 hands up. Y'all 2 hands up. Y'all know what y'all came to do. Chase me. Let's go. I want to make this one round shape. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
But the proof of premeditation gets even worse. Take a look at the posters for the show. Any clues here related to sacrifice? Well, at first glance, we see the ever so displayed one eye symbolism, the all-seeing eye. That is very commonly associated with Illuminati symbols, but few realize this goes way further back than Freemasonry. It goes back to Egyptian mythology and the Eye of Horus. In one version of the myth, it was Horus himself who gouged out his own eye as a sacrifice to bring his father Osiris back to life. But what do you know? Osiris was synonymous with the underworld, death, evil, and disorder. So this sacrifice enabled Osiris to remain king of the underworld of the dead. It's said the Eye of Horus represents protection, but I'd like to ask, protection of what? Protection of their god of death. Well, no shortage of eyeballs here on this poster. In fact, take a look at this moment. Travis popped out on the stage. This creepy thing is like a story tall. And look at this. Note, while this was while Drake had joined him, much later in the show when most were collapsing and several had already...
Check out this stage, man. Eyeballs all over it. And that vortex with the eyeball in the center. Creepy. Creepy.
Died. Stage full of eyeballs, representing sacrifice to the underworld, all while they chant go crazy and playing for keeps to a crowd that had already sent some to their death. Back to the poster again. Take a look at this image here. Not just the eyeballs, but the eyeballs inside the hand. What on earth, right? I'll show you. Now take a look at this creature. This is Pale Man. Pale Man is a character that was featured in an Oscar-winning film named Pan's Labyrinth. But get this, Pale Man was none other than a child-eating monster. Even deeper, that Pale Man character was admittedly based on a painting called Saturn Devouring the Sun. Now that point, with this being related to Saturn and Saturn worship, is very important to remember. Because Saturn and Saturn worship is ancient, and it is known to be represented by the color black in the shape of a cube, as well as the hexagon. Some may wonder, why would Saturn, most would think of as round with rings, right, be affiliated with the cube? But in truth, the pole of Saturn is a highly structured hexagonal one, as you can see here, and the hexagon contains the cube hidden three-dimensionally within it. And what do you know is displayed at the front of Astroworld? But Travis Scott coming out of a black cube. What? Listen, Travis Scott is only one of many henchmen for the large Saturnian worshiping cult. But remember, these symbols are openly disclosed, so you know the truth. In many places known to be controlled by the most supposedly elite and respected aspects of society. But make no mistake, these symbols are fingerprints with Saturnian and sun god worship and Luciferian at their core. Still haven't seen enough proof about Travis? The date of this show, November 5th, 2021, just happens to be 666 months and 6 days from the formation of the Church of Satan. Bird's eye view, the stage shows us none other than the upside down cross leading directly into the portal of a stage which featured a perfect representation of the pits of hell. The upside-down cross is a very well-known symbol of the occult and atheism. The very shirt that Travis Scott wore during the concert featured a blue human form walking through a plane in the middle. Pass through the plane, it comes out the other side red and sporting horns. How blatant must they be? On the same stage with this portal, there is a sign that says, "See you on the other side." This is what these young people were watching pre-show. What other side do you think they're talking about? This theme of going through vortex, different universe, other side was the show's most repeated thing. Here's another poster where you see the roller coaster tracks. Can't get off a roller coaster, right? Going into the vortex with the eye of sacrifice to the underworld, still watching. Again, for one to say, "Oh, this can't be a ethnic ritual," the person making that statement would need to know what one of those looks like. Essentially, these ancient rituals tied to human sacrifice have been going on not for hundreds, but thousands of years. The gods associated with these offerings are tied to worship Saturn, which we showed you. Saturn, again, known to eat children, even his own children, and often seen in the sky. God Saturn was also known as Kronos, Baal, or Molech. These early 1900s films featured scenes of sacrifices to Molech and Baal. Their favorite being the young and innocent. But back to Travis Scott. Anything look familiar here? I suppose it's a coincidence as well that the Travis Scott Gates to Astrofest and the fall edition of Houston Magazine front cover featured Travis Scott's head as an open-mouthed Molech, complete with people symbolically walking straight into it. As a marketing and branding person myself, there is no good reason for this choice that isn't weird. It's not alluring or beautiful, it's disturbing. Eerie at best, but when you know that this is the mouth of Molech that demands human sacrifice, to many of us now, the thought of people in ancient days willing to worship these gods, to bring in a good harvest, or to provide wealth by giving over your child's life to them seems unreal and ridiculous. But actually, the word worship only means to revere greatly. How many of these young adults simply revered greatly Travis Scott? How many worshipped Travis Scott and paid with their lives? This is 9-year-old Ezra, the youngest known victim of this concert. And if you're wondering why such a young child would be there, perhaps it's because they had marketed Travis Scott to the very young through Fortnite, popular with preteens, as well as Travis Scott McDonald Happy Meals. Those target from 3 to 10-year-olds. There's the cube of Saturn again. What you may not know is the sacrifice of the young and innocent often gains more power for the evil of this world. You see, Lucifer wants the destruction of the innocent because he knows it's one of the things God hates the most. Maybe you're thinking, Dana, these rituals were ages ago. Come on, no one does crazy stuff like that anymore. Okay, it's time for me to get real with you. Let's take a look at this document that is very interesting and very disturbing. This was created within the criminal division of a police department to help its officers in training learn how to identify homicides that were committed as a part of occult rituals. It's very thorough and gives a detailed background of Satanism, its rules and language around the covens, their symbols, their satanic holidays, and much more. I thought I knew a great deal about these groups, but there is a lot I did not want to know. It's not for sensitive eyes, but if you do want to read it, it's linked in the description box below. You may have thought of until now, there is no such thing as Satanism, but seeing this very plainly laid out checklist of the evidence and proofs of the profoundly evil habits of the people following this religion, you have to at least admit there are certainly others out there who not only believe in the kingdom of darkness, but who are willing to do very sick things to appease him at the total devastation of others. In fact, there have been many people who have come forward with detailed testimonies admitting being involved in SRNA or atanic ritual abuse amongst not some rednecks in Alabama, okay, but those in high levels of society, elite political circles, high-level banking and global finance industries, people admitting and telling stories of what happens in these groups. For example, this man had not millionaire, but billionaire clients, and though he was warned early on about leaving your conscience at the door in order to join, he got involved anyway. He went to some of their events and thought their rituals were funny. These sacrifices often involve not just drugs and alcohol, but many forms of sexual acts of perversion as another way to make Satan happy. By the way, that's why your music videos and your celebrities lead the young and innocent into these lifestyles too. Just saying.
Dus dat geval speelde. Ik moet ook zeggen dat.
To put it carefully, most of these people followed not very mainstream religion. So, you have Catholics, Protestants, all sorts of religions. These people, most of them, were Luciferians. And then you can say, religion is a fairy tale. God doesn't exist. None of that is real. Well, for these people, it is truth and reality. And they served something immaterial, what they called Lucifer. And I also was in contact with those circles, only I laughed at it because to me they were just clients. So, I went to places called Churches of Satan.
So now we are talking about Satanism.
Yes. So, I visited these churches just as a visitor dropped by, and then they were doing their holy mass with naked woman and liquor and stuff. And it just amused me. I didn't believe in any of this stuff and was far from convinced if any of this was real.
It was just a spectacle to you.
Yes, in my opinion, the darkness and evil is within the people themselves. I didn't make the connection yet, so I was a guest in those circles and it amused me greatly to see all those named women and the other things.
Ik vond het allemaal wel leuk. Al die blote vrouwen en al die dingetjes die daar speelden.
But then at some point, I was invited, which is why I'm telling you all this, to participate in sacrifices abroad. That was the breaking point. Children.
You were asked to do that?
Yes, and I couldn't do that.
Some others have shared pretty horrific stories confirming the sick role of child sacrifice because they were brought.
Okay, that's about half of that. I would suggest you go watch the rest of it. That was pretty bueno. She does a real good job. Real good job. Well, while I was gone, I got a visitor, old Baxter. Baxter. He's a ninja. He's a ninja. But yeah, when you watch those videos like that, and you see all the symbolism, you see all the occultness, and that's where we live, guys. The devil loose. Because as a parent, my kids, the music they listened to was my music. They ventured out a little bit, but I always knew what they were listening to because I understood. You know, what are these lyrics saying? What are they saying? And that guy, Travis Scott, never heard of him. Alan and I were talking about the other day. And Alan, yes, I did. And like somebody put in the comments, you got to turn your volume up a little bit. Dwayne, you got to turn your volume up a little bit. Hard to hear you, bud. But good. Good job. It's hard, man. It's hard when you first do live videos because you just don't know until you do a few. all those little things. Heck, and I, you know, me and Ellen, we've been doing it. I've been doing it, I guess, since February or so. Still not great at it. Still not good. But all that stuff, man. And I highly suggest you go watch some of her stuff. She does probably some of the best research and presentations on these videos of anybody. Oh, sure. Sure, yeah. Yeah, Dwayne, you don't, I said you don't know until you do one or two of light and sound and all that. Hell, how many times in the last 10 months of Ellen and I tried to do something and we got the echo, and we finally realized that's because you still have your window open to YouTube where you're watching, and it took us a little while to figure that part out, but you'll get it. It's no big deal. No biggie. It's just, it's for me, it was fun to do it. Hey girl, what's everybody doing? How's it going? Here you go, Ella. I'm going to drop you the link in. Come give us an update on Down Under. Come give us an update, young lady. We need to hear about Australia. I keep hearing it's going to just get worse. One guy did a video, who was it? And said they're just, what they're doing right now in Australia is the tighten and loosen technique. They tighten you down, lock you down, then they give you some freedom, and then they tighten you down, lock you down again, give you a little freedom, then boom. And by then you're just, whatever, just stop harassing me. You know, everybody, you know, all those videos of people going, you know, I took it because they said everything would be cool if I did. And it didn't. It didn't get no better. And I also heard a thing the other day, and this is the way they always move the goalpost, is that now that the booster is out, that the powers that be are gonna at a certain point start labeling anybody who hasn't boosted yet as a completely non. And so just gonna put them all back in our group and call it good until you keep boosting. Boost it, baby, boost it. Come on, that's what they want. Oh, and I think Dane Ashley in that video goes on to say that the day of that concert, Sure. Come on in whenever you get ready. Take your time. But I believe she said the day of that concert was the day that the FDA approved for 5 to 11-year-olds to receive the magic. Yeah. And that's something that just, wow, that's just so hard to believe people are putting up with. When it's always about the statistics. Oh, you know, this is its fatality rate and its percentage. You know, you're less than 0.132% likely to have devastating effects from it. And kids are like almost a non-existent percentage to calculate, but they're just insisting that they get it. And I saw a deal the other day. Who did it? Oh, it was a football game in Kansas City, the Cowboy game last night. They did a little quick blurb on that. There at the stadium, they had set up jab stations, and the picture they showed was about a 10-year-old kid, 11, 12-year-old kid walking away, pulling his sleeve down. Right there at the stadium. Right there at the stadium. They're going to start doing that. Oh, you want to go into Disneyland? Get in that line over there if you ain't got your passport. Oh yeah, that Meta's really, boy, I've noticed over here, they're really starting to push the Meta advertising. And one of their first commercials they've got out is just people's heads and it's like a green screen behind them, and they're just going. It's crazy. There's Zella. Welcome.
Hello, hello. Hey everyone in the chat. How you going? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Oh geez, we got some crazy stuff going on.
I bet. Let's hear it.
Oh man. Well, looking at, I don't know if you guys have seen like the protest that was like all worldwide on the weekend. Here in Australia, every major capital city, was chockers. Like streets were packed, right? Then you got all the major little towns in between the major cities, and they were packed. They were absolutely huge. The amount of people that were there, I reckon, would be close to, I'll talk to you soon, it'd be close to about probably 500,000, 600,000 at least, man. And the media are going on, and it's only a couple, only 10,000, you know, only a couple. We had Antifa attacking a Jew and a Aboriginal, calling them Nazis. That was really interesting. And also, get this, we've had our Prime Minister do a total 180 from saying mandates, you know, the states will have to mandate everything, blah, blah, blah. All federal health workers, you know, have got to have it, blah, 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 to no, people have had enough of the government telling them what to do. We're not going to mandate. We're not going to lock down, blah, blah, blah. And every time they talk about saying we're not going to lock down, guess what happens? We get locked down.
That's what I was just saying a while ago. That guy was talking about. He'd been watching y'all's whole scenario. And that's what it was. Lockdown, ease back. Lockdown, ease back. Until they get you totally locked down. Go, hey, it's for your own good. Don't you realize?
They give you a little bit, and then they just take it
away.
Do you know what I mean? Like 26th of July this year, there was probably 10,000 protesting for BML, and then there was another protest which people got fined, and there were guns shot and all, you know, like they were shooting pepper balls, things. You know, that the two different scenarios, how can they, you know, have all that go on then when not only a few months later that all this is going on? Do you know, oh, hang on, maybe it's got to do with election time coming up. There's an election coming up. We've got a federal election coming up, and that would be why that it's going on like that. So now we've also got the Northern Territory Premier turning around, which they've had very little cases in Northern Territory. We haven't heard much of Northern Territory. They had one lockdown, and the Northern Territory.
Right.
Hi, Kathy. The Northern Territory mob. Hope you have a good day.
Morning.
Morning.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Crazy old
Yeah. Oh, I lost where I was at. So yeah, all of this is going on. Northern Territory have turned around and said, if you're against the mandate, you're anti-jabbed. Right? If you're against, you know, this one, but not against other ones, you're anti-jab. So yeah, all of these things, you know, like, and then there was a bit of a
each other. Everything. Yeah, there's no right, no wrong. It's just vague everywhere.
Yeah, and then there's a bit of a bitch fight between our Queensland like state police minister. She was double jabbed 6 months ago. So guess what? Boosters. So she's not technically jabbed.
Yeah,
so she's sitting there telling everyone what they can and can't do when technically she's not double jabbed. So we've got a real problem. We've got a situation where we've got children from the age of, I think it's 8 to 12 or 13. They can go to the swimming pool and athletics during school time, but after that time, they can't go to the pool.
Wow. That's just
I'm serious. This is what it's. This is just what it has come to. The lunacy of it.
It's crazy, right?
So today in Parliament, they had Pauline Hanson, which is One Nation, and she has always been for the people. And the senator has been ridiculed for the last 20 years that I've followed her. She's been ridiculed all the way. Right. She was just a homemaker that got into Parliament to do a better job for the country, and she's done well. But she couldn't get her thing against the mandates through today, and yet the Prime Minister is sitting there saying he's not this and he's not that. So I expect once these centres are built, and I had a look about 2 weekends ago, and they're moving pretty fast. I had people looking at me and everything, and I'm like, nah, I'm getting out of here. Like, I don't want to be here. This is federal. Do you know what I mean? It's not state, it's federal. I don't want nothing to do with it. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I think once those places are built, they put through a thing on with the Biosecurity Act where they can force us to make clothes, wear a specific identity on the clothes. They can force us to hand body samples to the World Health Organization for testing. Guess what? They can force the unvaccinated, student travelers, quarantine, anyone on the street, whatever that they think, or political, social, anti-establishmentarianism sort of behavior, it'll be for that, and they have said that.
Right. Well, and it was probably a year ago or so, I heard a guy, one of the WHO people, talking about the future of a vaccine passport. And they were on it from the beginning. You know they're going to do it when they tell you. We have to wait until we ensure they can't be faked.
Yeah, well, they got a problem here because here in Australia, within a day of them letting this app out,
right,
a tech guy had managed to create a spoof and was selling it online. Right. I mean, I can even find a site now that'll show a fake check-in. It's not that hard to find a site for a fake check-in. Right. But the thing about that is, from the 17th of December, the check-in is going to be paired. They put all these new terminals in at the shops that do the QR code reader, like China.
Y'all are seeing them being installed.
Yeah.
Before you go into business. Wow.
When I used my key card today, I looked down and it had a thing where I could just take a photo with my phone with a code and pay it that way. It's a new thing they're bringing in. So I can see what's coming. You'll be waving your hand over it soon and walking out. That's what's coming.
That's scary that they're already just saying, here it is, do something. What are you going to do?
It's going to be implemented from the 17th of December, and anyone that does not check in corresponding to the transactions will be fined. That will be sent to the state database of SPUR for the Registry Enforcement Agency. And if you do not make an agreement to pay that fine, they'll cancel your license. They can come in, send the sheriffs in, and repossess the shit out of your home.
Society.
Yeah, or they can lock you up to do community service if you don't pay it. So, yeah, we're screwed.
We got to get you out of there, Al. We got to get you out of there.
Oh, we're screwed. I just got this urge to sell everything and go bush. I have a real itchy urge to get out now.
Why wouldn't you? You know the other alternative. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, do you wait till the last minute? Don't wait till the last minute.
No. We've actually started going through things, and my son's cleaning up stuff that he doesn't want, and we're just listing it online and getting rid of it and just putting it, and we're not banking it. I'm staying away from the banks. I do not trust the banks.
Put it under your mattress. Put it in the coffee.
Yeah, it'll go in the safe. Yeah, no, it's not going near a bank. Now I know why my grandma never trusted the bank. You know.
So, I was talking to Kathy the other day, and I'd started probably 2 or 3 years ago pulling cash out and putting it in the safe.
Yeah, my stepdad does that every week. He pulls a little bit out each week so it doesn't get noticed. Yeah, go on. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna go back to just doing that now that it's getting like this. It's just getting too iffy.
It is. You're gonna wake up one morning, mate, and you're gonna hear you're only allowed to withdraw $50 a day. It'll be something like that. You'll be allowed $10 petrol a day. You'll be given food stamps for food. That's what's coming. And
if you do want an excessive amount of money in their eyes, you're gonna have to justify it to them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What it's for? You've got to show us what it's for.
Yep.
It has to be, we have to legitimize it, and if we don't think it's legitimate, you ain't getting it.
They're going to take it, like they confiscate it with the drugs and all that misuse act. Like, I don't know about there, but you can't have anything over $10,000. Anything over $10,000, if you can't prove that you got that money legitimately, they will take it. And if you can't prove that you're going to buy something, they'll take it because your money's supposed to be stored in the bank. But there's no law for it, but through their head, that's what it's supposed to be. To buy a house now, it's got to be done on a digital platform through the government website. You cannot just go to a bank with cash anymore and pay with a bank check or cash. You have to.
You have to do it.
You have to make a digital account. Yeah. Your digital account, your credit check, everything gets checked, and then all the approvals, everything goes through this government site. And this is Australia-wide now. It's It's the system they're bringing in is the social credit. We know it's coming.
Kathy and I, back in 96, 97, bought our first house. And the paperwork for that first house was about 8 pages.
Wow.
And then the next time we bought another house, it got up to about 15 pages. Then the next house we bought, it was close to 30 pages. And it just kept getting more and more and more regulation. Things they wanted from us that we never had to provide before. Things they insisted on that we never had to provide before. And then all of a sudden, it just, bam, you have to have at least 10% in cash down to buy these homes now. And we're going, okay, I mean, we never had to do that before, but okay, here we go. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And now to own property, it's almost, geez, it's a ritual that you have to jump through to own property over here anyway. I don't know about over there, but it's gotten almost like where they, like you said, it's a tracking device now. Who owns
It is.
Where do they live? How much do they owe on things? You know, they do your tax assessment every year. When we were out in Merkel, we all we did was we had to have a new roof, you know, fix some fence and stuff. And the second year we were there, they reappraised our house at almost 10% more than it was when we bought it. And we're like, what the hell is that? We haven't done that kind of improvements. We haven't done anything to this property to justify that.
Unreal.
They're like, well, you know, we go by an average and and I'm like, that's not the
Yeah,
point.
they're not worth what they, you know, like they sell them for, are they? They're
Right.
just not worth it.
Right. And you guys, what's the best way to ask this? What the fuck? How'd y'all let this get to where it is now? How did y'all do
We
that?
have a thing of she'll be right. Do you know what I mean? Australians are pretty easygoing.
Sure.
We don't seem to, like, even in like times of disasters and things like that, we don't really get stressed out. We've always got this she'll be right attitude. Do you know what I mean? We have never had to fight on our own land. Do you know what I mean? Like the closest we got to like a conscription in this time was my father's age in Vietnam War, but they couldn't really do it because under our constitution they can't do it.
Right.
And going back to these vaccine jab mandates, they can't do it here in Australia as much as they want to. Like with like looking at everything that's going on, how Pfizer got all the sovereign contracts, it's, you know, corporate, all that. If they're going to take Australia, I have a feeling they're going to have to clean slate. Do you know what I mean? Like they want us
This
to
is
be
gonna
the
have to
head.
be total control, total takeover.
Yeah, total takeover, and that would mean getting rid of the crown. Which, if they got rid of the crown, that would get rid of the Bill of Rights that they do have. It'd get rid of the Constitution that they have, and it would get rid of the Magna Carta as well. They want to get rid of the Magna Carta because the Magna Carta is what gives us human rights. So they
Right.
want to get rid of that as well. Australia has no free speech laws. The only free speech we have is under the Declaration of Human Independence with the United Nations. So we don't actually have free speech. So we are screwed. We are really up the creek without a paddle. And it's that she'll be right, easygoing attitude. Plus, for the last 30, 40 years, it's always been, you know, own a house, have a nice car, the family and all that kind of stuff. And everyone is just so distracted between debt, work, and family. They don't really pay attention. They don't pay attention to what's going on in the politics because, I mean, we went through like 3-4 prime ministers in such a short period of time. It had never been seen in the world. Several years ago, we had Kevin Rudd, and then it went to Julia Gillard, and then something happened. Another one left, and then another one came. It was just shocking that like they think so little of the Australian people that they would do that. Do you know what I mean? They had what they did is we voted in Kevin Rudd. Kevin Rudd got in, and then they had a party spillover, and they wanted this woman, which was a trans, right, to be the first female prime minister. Had to be the first Labor female prime minister. So they kicked him out and gave him a job at the United Nations as one of the, ambassadors to the UN, Asia Pacific. So he
Right.
got that job. It just there's no.
The corruption
treat
is so sickening, isn't it?
It is. We can see it, and I think the Aussies just tune out. You know, like what we don't see, we don't know. You know what I mean? But it's gone to the point where we should know, and my
Right.
grandparents would be rolling in their grave.
Oh my God, right. Well,
You know-
well, you guys, like you said, they can't mandate it.
No,
Oh,
they can't.
Well, they
No.
can't here either, but corporations are doing their bidding.
That's the
for them.
thing. Yeah, that's the
They're
thing.
doing it for them.
Yes.
Going, hey, you know, we want you to have your job, but we got to keep everybody safe.
Mm.
Don't do this to your coworkers, or you'll lose your
Yeah.
job. Well,
But here, yeah. Sorry, go.
Kathy had 25 resignations.
Oh, really?
Had 25 nurses walk. They ain't gonna do it. You know, and I
Right.
told her, I said, all it's gonna take is a couple more, ain't it? You can't lose many more. And she's like, no.
They'll give in eventually. If everyone walks out, they'll have to give in because that's what they've done here.
Will they?
Well, the thing is here, right? We have it with if state law outshines a federal law. So the federal law was written first, right, with the Constitution, and a state law is latter with their Constitution. The federal law stands. The state's wiped out.
Right.
So this would come like this comes to public transport, hospitals, all that kind of stuff. They get funding from the federal. So if they're going to say to the unvaccinated, and it's a big thing here at the moment, if they're going to be treated like lepers and can't go places, we're not going to pay tax. That's what we're saying. We will not pay tax. We will not pay the GST tax. We will not pay any tax. And we will stop. We'll boycott places.
Yeah. Well, I think in Australia right now, y'all have pretty much weeded out the pros and the cons in the whole debate, right?
Yeah.
Y'all don't have many people left on the fence.
No.
I think y'all are pretty divided now.
I think now we're at that stage of they take the boosters and go along with the plan, or B, they reject the boosters, fight the mandates, and then either another outbreak's going to happen that'll be something more severe, you know, like Zika or MERS or something like that. I just got a feeling something bad will come that will drop people fast. If that doesn't happen, it'll be like a war. It'll be like like a planned war between China coming in or some other country coming in. Do you know what I mean? To wipe out all of those laws and rules and people that won't follow the plan. Because they know they want Australia as the head of the New World Order. That's where they want to run everything out of. That's why the Parliament House was built so big and everything. They want to run everything out of Australia. They want to get out of Europe with like Brussels, which what they got most of the stuff, and New York with United Nations. They want everything in Australia. We have United Nations in every state here at the moment.
Yeah, and for you guys, wow. Where, and like you said, people are going to quit paying taxes. Well, y'all's jobs are just like our jobs. Your employer takes those taxes out pre-check, right? It's all taken out already. You get your taxes already subtracted. So your bosses are going to have to start saying, no, we're not going to send taxes in. Otherwise, you have to wait till income tax time like we do and just not send something in. But otherwise, they take that shit every week. How are you going to stop that?
People have been saying that they wouldn't pay their income tax like that. They wouldn't pay. See, if you run a small business, they have a thing called BAS, where you report your goods and services taxes every 3 months to the tax office.
They're quarterly taxes.
Yeah, so if you run your own business, which a lot of places do, they just said they'll refuse to do the BAS.
And that, I understand that a private, small business owner who does his own stuff, I can see him. He's able to.
Yeah, so we got those ones, and then we got the people like me that'll go to the shops and say, okay, what's the price? Okay, we'll take the $4.60 of GST off, and here's your money for the product. That's what's going to happen.
And that's a great idea. And there's no reason you and that other person can't barter.
Exactly. Exactly. And same as fuel. Like at the moment, it's $1.53 a litre. It's dropped down. It was $2.10. It's down to $1.53 at the moment. But about 80 cents of that $1.50 or 85 cents is tax. I'm serious. Excise, fuel excise. Yeah.
What? You know,
We are one of the most heavily taxed nations on the earth.
I know. And that's one of the things that I've noticed my whole life is like Canada, Australia, Europe, people are like, oh, we're heavily taxed, but we have free healthcare, but we have this and this. Your free healthcare is for crap. All your services are for crap, and you're still taxed to the hilt, and you still justify it.
Yeah.
Why? How? How do you justify that? I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy to me how they programmed those countries so well that they're like, well, it's for the greater good. You know, my taxes are helping the old people. They're helping the youth. They're helping.
But the taxes don't go to that. We know that. Yeah,
They're helping those administrators of every one of those systems get richer. Yeah, they're doing that. Those people are doing well.
Yeah. Well, see, I was only saying the other day, you know, you're talking about bartering, right? I can see the other week there were a lot of people that were refused hotel entry accommodation because they weren't jabbed. And I can see people going back to billeting, you know, renting out a bedroom, you know, do a bit of yard work or a bit of, you know, handiwork, and you get a room for a week, or, you know, you get a room and meals for a week, or you do a bit of work here, you'll get a feed. You know, I can see that coming.
That's weird you say that. I was driving down the road yesterday coming back home, and this road I come down, there's a couple of houses that are fairly nice houses, but they could use a cleanup. And I just thought to myself, I wonder what would happen if somebody just pulled in there, started cleaning this up for them. And when they were, you know, if they came out and went, what are you doing? Going, just going to clean this up for you. Well, you know, I didn't ask you to do that. And you just go, I'm going to do it. If you need, you know, if you want to pay me, you can. If not, you know, don't. I'll clean this up. What would happen? I mean, that's the way the barter starts. Hey, but I see you need some help.
Yeah.
You could help getting this cleaned up. I'll do it. Feed me, you know, give me a few bucks and we'll make a deal. You know what I'm saying? It just in my head yesterday thinking that's almost the way people are going to have to start doing, just going individual and going, it looks like you could use this service. You know, this is what I do. You know, I don't want to pay taxes. I'm not going to, I'll give you a receipt, a handwritten receipt, but you know, I don't have red tape. I'm not connected. I mean, that's about the only way you can do it, right? Going forward.
Yeah, that's, I mean, they got their, like, there's so many, like we were talking about this today with my son, so many license fees and licenses, you know, that we have here. It just, I don't think there's anything left. I mean, hang on. No, you don't have to have a license to reverse a trailer yet. That's one they haven't done.
Just about to tell you, where's your license?
But hey, give it, you know, now that I've said that, the powers that be will probably, you know, oh, we can get a new tax on making people pay for licenses to reverse a trailer. Too many accidents with trailers, and there are a lot of accidents, so I can see it coming. I was just talking about it today, and yeah, I can see it coming.
Why would they not? They all they do is they're a hammer looking for a nail, baby.
Yeah. Sadly.
They are.
Sadly. And you know, we were talking about houses before where, you know, you need so much to purchase a house back in 96. You know, in China at the moment, well, for the last sort of 10, 20 years, they have had to have a 50% deposit on their housing. And their housing has actually gone up faster than what America and Australia's has because of, you know, the population and the demand. And yeah, it's unreal.
And how many people in that structure actually get to that point where they can do it and then do it? You're only allowed to that plateau by the state.
Yeah.
So anybody you see that's able to do that, they're in the
loop.
Machine.
Yeah.
Part of the machine, no doubt.
Yeah.
We you know, here, you know, we keep hearing, shut up, Nashville. We keep hearing about the, you know, the.
Tell him, is he that cattle dog? Is it the cattle dog that's barking?
Yeah,
tell him to piss off. Say piss off.
Alan's on his way in. Nashville.
Just say piss off and see if he'll shut up.
See
if he's Australian.
He's staring at you.
He's like, Australian. He should know. Piss off.
Piss off.
He's Australian. He should know. Yeah, he should know. He's Australian.
Hey, mate, piss off.
My dog does that. I'll have to film it and show you. It is so funny.
That's
Mum,
funny.
like the first time, like when we got up, I showed Mum this. I said, "Watch," I like piss off, and she cracked up. And I just wished I could see her to show her how
Right,
big
right.
the dog's
Nashville.
gotten. And yeah, it's frustrating. I haven't heard from her. She's just totally
No,
ignored me.
that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's just
yeah.
so. And,
Uh,
but what I don't understand with your mom is that she's from an older generation that shouldn't be as programmed.
no, she's
they-
old. No,
she-
she worked in the police force for 30 years, and worked for the government and had all us kids vaccinated, and all throughout her life and everything, and
Right.
yeah,
She's been in the system for a long time.
yeah, and she's just got that pig-headed attitude.
Right.
She gets something in her mind, and that's it. It'll probably take her another 6 months. I didn't talk to my mum for several years when I was a teenager.
Right.
Like she awarded me to the state when I was 13-year-old, and
Right.
I couldn't forgive her, and I didn't talk to her until I was in my 20s to her.
Right. It
Yeah.
sure makes it hard to honor our mother and father, like God
Yeah.
tells you to when they when they act this way.
Yeah, I was talking like us. We had a good chat before with Tony, and I was talking with Tony about that. Sometimes it's got to do with how you're brought up. Whether you find Christ or not. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like my mum, like I love her, but to me, I see so much programming. Do you know what I mean? And
It's not really hard.
no, and it's just so frustrating to look at my loved ones and go, can't you see it? Can't you see what's coming? Do you know
It's
what I mean?
And
Yeah.
and a comment, Scotty. Why would you say that? My dogs are the least stressed dogs in the world. Look at this dog. He's been sitting here asleep.
Cuddling up to his daddy there.
This is my boy Baxi, man. He goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I can take him into Home Depot. We went in
Really?
today, and as we walk in, I don't put him on a leash. We walk in, the lady goes, "Excuse me, he needs to be on a chain," and I just went, "He will be." And we went down an aisle. I said, "Let's go, buddy. They're on to us." And he stayed with me. He goes right with me. His only weakness is women always want to go, "Oh, how cute." He'll say it to you. He's such a good dog. And when we're checking out, and the lady's standing there, and I'm doing my stuff, and I go, "Baxter, did we get everything on the list?" And he just sat down and looked up at me like, "I'm thinking." And then he just kind of laid down and waited for me, and she laughed so hard. And we're starting to walk off. I grabbed my receipt and I was going, "No, you're not driving." He did a couple of circles, and out the door we went. And that lady was laughing so hard. He's such a funny little dog, and he's attentive, man. He'll listen. He knows. Especially when we go in public, he will kill in public. He stays right by me.
Unreal. That's cool. So cool.
Then Kathy's like, "You gotta put him on a leash." I said, "I do not. I don't have."
And see, here in Australia, we get fined, and because a woman took a Chihuahua to Bunnings, the big hardware store. This little Chihuahua bit a kid, and because of that one dog, everyone in Australia now has to have a muzzle on their dog when they go out.
Really, a muzzle?
Yeah, if you want to take your dog into any store, it's got to have a lead and it's got to have a muzzle, and if you don't, cops will get called and you get fined.
One store I was in with Baxter, this lady goes, "You're gonna have to put him on a leash." I said, "I can't. He's my CNI dog," and we just walked off.
I like that one. That's
He's
cool.
my CNI dog, man.
Yeah.
I'm following him.
Yeah.
But
My
we-
cat is really weird. She actually loves the car and goes for drives with us. Like we'll go to Maryborough up to my dad's, and the cat
That
will
is
come
weird.
with us.
It is weird. Cats usually don't like to leave their perimeter.
No, she loves it. She gets up on the back parcel tray and she'll come up, and she just absolutely loves it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now Baxter and 7, I can't say the words, go for an RIDE. Boom.
Yeah, you can't say it. Yeah, we used to have a dog like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're spinning, they're ready to go. They know what it means.
Yeah.
And we're taking them with us. We're taking the RV and leaving tomorrow afternoon to go see my parents and get to see Lulu. and we're taking Baxter and Seven and Tinkerbell. And yesterday, for the first time, he hadn't been in. None of them have been in the RV. We've never traveled with them yet. And I tried to get him to go up the steps. He wouldn't go up the steps. He kept wanting to jump up from the side. He's just like jumping up in a truck, jumping into a chair. So he didn't realize the steps. It took us a couple of tries before he savvied the steps.
We had a Labrador that couldn't go up or down steps. He fell down them when he was a pup, and he must have been so traumatized. He never tried it again. And this bloody dog, my mum put a lift in the house for the dog. I'm serious, like a lift for this dog.
I couldn't stairs unless I carry them up. I'm not.
Well, Mum's excuse was, I'm going to have a double knee replacement soon anyway, and I'm going to need it when I age, and we're going to live here until we, go into a nursing home, so we might as well get it. Grandma lives downstairs too. It was Grandma's money, so Mum didn't care. So
she didn't care. It's Grandma's money.
Yeah, but Grandma had the last say. Grandma had it done so that money would come out of when they sold Grandma's house. They took it out of Mum's money. So all the work that Mum got Grandma to pay on the house, when Grandma died, Grandma had the last laugh and had my Mum's brothers and sisters take out what she spent on the house out of her money. And then they got the extra money.
I love it. She's like, I'm getting all my shit free. It's all free.
I thought Grandma, that was just perfect.
That was nice. Nice.
That was just amazing. She got her from beyond the grave. She got her from beyond the grave. I thought that was classic.
I bet they had the red ass over that. I bet she.
Well, Mum had already had that money spent. They were going over to Venice on a boat cruise. So we're going to go to New Zealand, and they had it already spent. It backfired. I thought it was classic.
And they look out. What the hell are you talking about? That's my money.
And Auntie Diane goes, well, maybe she'll think about it next time she goes to put gold taps on the kitchen sink. And I'm like,
right.
Okay.
That's great. You gotta love that. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those, a very serious trip out to my parents. We're gonna settle out power of attorney, medical power of attorney. We're gonna financial powers of attorney. We're gonna get the will. Everybody get a copy of the will, and make sure everything's updated. It's going to be a busy week. We're going to try and get all their bills put on electronic, auto pays.
Yeah, it's easier to manage. I have troubles because I do a lot of stuff for my dad, and because of the privacy laws, I can't do anything until he gives me permission. Do you know what I mean? Someone drove into his car and basically rid his car off, and I couldn't deal with the insurance company until he had given them permission. And it delayed it for 2 days. I had to drive up to Maribor to get it all sorted out. It's just so frustrating.
Right. I mean, what a time.
Each to their own. Each to their own means it's at the stage where dog eat dog. Basically, it's getting to the stage where you worry about yourself, worry about no one else, and look after your own family. That's what it's coming to.
And that's their part of their big plan is they're waiting on us to turn on each other.
Yeah, they want us to. They tried the other day here with all these protests that were going on. They're saying, oh, they're racist and they're this and they're that. And the Aussies turned around and said, hang on, this is one of the most diverse crowds you will ever see in the world. And I mean it. It was diverse. There's no way you could say it was all white supremacy, anti-jabs, or all of that kind of stuff, because the amount of people of all different races and colors, the media just looked like total fools. And now the media is getting trolled online for all their lies, and people are making videos and putting videos up to show them the truth and said, you weren't there, we were.
Yeah, right. Well, and I'm looking on my news feed here, and I don't see anything about protests in Australia. There's not a peep.
No, it has not been mentioned. It's on my Twitter feed. I've shared lots of pictures with hundreds of thousands of people in Melbourne. Same with Sydney. As I said, I reckon it'd be over 500,000. It'd have to be Australia-wide, close to, it'd have to be. You add the numbers up of every little town and big city, it was huge. And nothing has been said in the media.
We do, thank God, have headlines like US C-19 cases rise, heading into Thanksgiving. We have that little.
We had one today of no, Rona in Africa, and Africa has no jabs or any programs or any level 4 biosecurity lab that can make the jabs. Do you know what I mean? So they've got no sickness, no illness, no death, and the scientists can't work it out why. I know why. You know why.
Well, that's the beauty of their position, is they can always feign ignorance and go, we're looking at it. We're studying it. We've got, we're checking, we're trying. Okay, y'all just shut up and sit down till we tell you. We're looking into it. And you tell them all day long, we know it's because they haven't had your poison, any of your poison. And they'll go, nah, that can't be it.
I got so annoyed today. I saw a short clip on Twitter there of a young boy about my son's age. He rang his parents to come pick him up and said, he got in the car and he said, they turned up and there was no announcements and they were doing a pop-up Jabberoo clinic.
Yeah.
And they were telling everyone had to have it, including all the teachers, every single kid, without parents' permission. And
Just the
kid was smart enough to say, hang on, we need a permission slip to go to excursions from our parents. We need a permission slip for you to give Panadol to us by our parents.
Right.
Where's the permission slip? Are you going to tell us parents? And they go, no. And he goes, I want to call my parents.
No,
He walked out and said, I want to call my parents. And I'm so proud of that boy. I really am.
But
I don't think there was
one kid out of a whole school.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? But I'm so proud there was one, at least there was one child that was smart enough. But
but that's a great sample of compliance.
Yeah, and
usually kids, he has a buddy or two or a friend or two that'll go with him, right?
Yeah.
And then they have a couple that'll go with them, but nothing, 0, 1. Boom. Everybody else says, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah, no, this kid was on his own and he's like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to go wait out in front. I don't care if I get expelled. I don't care if I get suspended. Why would I want to go to a school like this? That's what he was saying.
Right.
I don't want to be part of that. He was just being really, really smart about it. But he had a good point to say that like that. And they're going around everywhere doing it. It's just scary. I've just got that urge to get out. And I think I'm just going
honest question here.
Yeah.
How can we help you get yourself in a position where you can get out?
Just prayers. Just prayers. That's all I need, bro, is prayers. Prayers are the best thing in the world that anyone could give me. That's all I need. Everything else is provided. I don't need. I'll be all right. I've got car. I've got other things. Like I'm independent. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't just do smoke. I don't have any addictions or anything. So I'm pretty good with my money.
Don't hesitate to ask for help from us that love
I
you.
appreciate that.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But I just appreciate the prayers. That is the most important thing to me.
Because I know the day's coming for you that we're not going to be able to talk to you like this. And that
sadly, one day you're just going to come to check in and say hello, and there's going to be nothing there. I'm sorry.
Right.
But we will meet again. And there's
sure.
nothing to fear. It's at the stage where everything that has happened, it's at the point of no return. It must happen for it to continue.
I don't see it stopping now.
Yeah, it has to continue. There's going to be a lot of pain and suffering. There's going to be a lot of hurt, yes. But at the end of the day, our reward is better than being of this world. Do you know what I mean? Being with the Lord. So
and
pain is temporary and glory is forever.
Sure.
Just remember that.
And I know you got a hedge of protection around you, sweetie. I do. And all our prayers are there with you. We just, for me, I just wish you could convince more people to go with you, and get on board and see what's going on. It hurts my heart that so many people are oblivious. They're just,
it's actually, I mean, the place that, like, I checked this place out when I was a child several times. We've been out there, and this place is self-sufficient. I've got seeds. I've been collecting seeds for a long time. All kinds of seeds you can imagine I've been collecting and drying them out. But hey, Shucksville, How you going? Yeah, I mean, this place is totally sort of self-sufficient, but it's just getting people to leave what the comforts, you know.
We
And
hadn't talked about this in a while, but the churches, are y'all's churches open or are they, what
yeah,
are they?
they're open. Well, it depends on what it is. But the one that we normally go to is open. But I'm getting sick of it because all you hear is donate, donate. Oh, we need this for fundraisers. Every 5 minutes, they've got the money tin out rattling it. Do you know what I mean? And I've been watching for some time, and they never deviate from their messages. You know, like the sermons.
They
They're
have their
always
little set ones.
yeah, and they're always similar. They're just worded differently. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
just same context of story, just worded differently.
Few little tenets of life, you know, love
Yeah,
and all this, and they
yeah,
just leave it alone from there.
yeah. And I actually don't trust the pastors here. I just have a feeling that they would be the first people to say, "Yep, they're here. Come and get them." Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
I feel they've sold their souls for the money. I don't think they really care about the people. It's more about the money, I think.
Well,
Oh,
to that group, you know, to
yeah,
that group, they're looking down on us going, you know, what are you crying about? I can pay my bills. What are you crying about? I can't believe you people. And they really, their cognitive dissonance is so bad. They look around and go, how can you be complaining? It's fine. I have no problem paying my bills. I don't have any problem paying my mortgage. You know, and they just kind of spit on everybody else. No, it's your own fault if it's bad. It's your own fault. Look, I follow the rules. If you follow the rules like I did, you'd be all right.
yeah.
That's a lot
If
of it.
only you do as you're told.
Right. Life would be so easy for you if you just pay attention and listen.
Yeah, just follow orders. I don't know if you heard, the police are looking on the New South Wales Central Coast for the little boy that went missing several years ago in 2014, William, the little boy in the Spider-Man outfit.
Right.
Strangely enough, they've been digging the home of the foster grandmother.
Yeah.
Now,
Didn't you show
yeah,
something like
yeah. Oh, no, that was another child. But this is this child that went missing as a 4-year-old. They never found him. They never dug up the ground. They never searched the ground. And apparently there was a thing, Operation Arkstone, involving children and 25 members for parliament involved in an elite pedophile ring.
Wow. I'm not surprised, but wow. Will any of them go to jail? No.
No, as if. I mean, I keep hearing, oh, Hillary go to jail. They won't go to jail. Come on. And this stuff about Nuremberg too. Nuremberg won't happen until it's over. Nuremberg will be for the survivors. It won't be for us now. It'll be for the survivors, and they'll play the game like they did after all the other shit that went on in the 40s and the 20s and 30s.
Right.
They'll just come in and say, oh, you did this, you did that, you're guilty, hang them.
You
Do
know
you know
what
what I mean?
You know what gets me? The few higher ups in this country that have ever been caught, they always do the same thing. They get to, number one, go to a federal facility. Number two, they always have protection, and they always come out and say that they're in solitary confinement or protective custody because they fear for their lives because they were such shitty people.
Yeah.
And the government protects them even after and when they've convicted them. Like, hey, you know, we're afraid somebody will kill them in jail, so we're keeping them in the country club.
Yeah.
You know? And they
Home
do
arrest. Yeah.
they do
home
10
detention.
months. They do 10 months and they're scot free, and you know, no harm, no foul. They keep.
Yeah.
And
But
those,
they're
this
different.
is those people can be convicted of things and still go back and work in their field. We couldn't. If
Because
I
there's-
got convicted of something like that, I cannot go back in the medical field. They're not going to hire me again.
Correct.
You're a felon. But
It's
those people can go right back.
Yeah, it's because there's a difference, because the elite see themselves as a different socio-economical class. Do you know what I mean? So laws don't, the laws are not for them, right?
Well,
They
no.
don't abide by the laws. If they've got money, the laws are only for the poor people, right? The jails and all the police and all that, they're for the poor people. They say the police work for them. I've seen videos of elite bragging about it. Do you know what I mean? Like taking stuff over borders and their baggage doesn't even get opened.
Sure.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's just like I know what happens, man. It's just I know the double standards, and we're slaves.
Oh, we have been for a
We
while.
are slaves. If you cannot accept that we are slaves and that you are a slave to the system, there's some
And they
problems.
own you. They own
Yes.
you.
Yes. Like you, and you think you have rights over your child, you don't. Try it. See what happens. They will come in and take that child so quick and say, we have that child. You were just
You
looking
are
after
a
it.
commodity.
Yep. That's
And
it.
and what's sick is people learned, kids learned over the years, and people learned over the years. Somebody pisses you off, call Child Protective Services. That'll show their ass.
Yeah.
Don't screw with me. I'll send Child Protective Services to your house, and whether you've done anything or not, they're going right up your butt, and they're going to give you crap for quite a while.
You know what? I had a deputy principal try that at my son's old high school, right?
Right.
And she didn't know that my mum worked at the police, and what happened to my son was reported straight away. And yeah, she tried to say, oh, this and that was happening. And anyway, the cops rang me up on a Sunday. I was just coming home from church, and I said, have you looked at your file? And she goes, no. And I said, oh, I'll have a look at such and such at such and such police station on such and such date. If you want the diary, I've written it in my diary. You can ring my mum, go and check it. And she said, oh, this principal was just out to get you to have your child taken off you. She
You notice that?
said she was a bitch. She said, I could ran your name. I couldn't see any, criminal history or anything on your name. She said, I couldn't work out what was going on. And I told her what it was about. It was basically that I had that principal's job. She was about to be sacked. And she wanted to intimidate me to the point where I wouldn't ring up and complain and get her sacked. But she got sacked. So did the deputy principal. They both got sacked.
There you go. Good for you.
Yeah.
Don't let them play those games with us.
No, I don't, mate. And
So many people won't push back. They walk into people who have faux authority, and they comply. They're like, okay, if that's the rule, if that's what you say, okay, I didn't know. Who am I? Who am I to say different? And I don't go there anymore. Just like when I went and had my procedure, they come in, you got to wear a mask. No, I do not. I'm here for a medical procedure, and you can't compromise my health.
Well,
and stood outside. I said, I ain't going to comply with your crap. I'll stand outside.
well, I had that happen to me when I had to go to the doctor a month ago. I was sitting inside with my daughter, and the receptionist come up to me and said, you have to go and sit out. She goes, here's a mask, put it on. And I said, no, I can't wear that. You know I've got COPD. Like, come on. Like, how can I wear a mask? You know what I mean? Like, and then you want me to go sit outside? I said, okay. I pulled the phone out. I started recording it. And then the doctor seen me sitting outside, and he looked up and went, oh, shit.
Oh, not her again.
Yeah, oh, shit. Oh, no. Discrimination of the Disability Act 1992. That's where he went. She got into so much trouble. But I told him I don't want her to lose her job, man. Don't sack her. She's young. You know, she just thinks she's doing the right thing. But it goes to their head, man. You know, like the ego. But I'm so happy because they lifted those restrictions where you don't have to wear the bastards, and I can go to a shop without a teenager saying to a middle-aged woman saying, put your mask on. I take 2 steps into a shop and I've got a teenager telling me to put a mask on.
I know. It's like, get out of here, kid.
Sometimes, yeah, I know, but I have to bite my tongue because they're young.
The few times I was confronted about a mask over the last year and a half, I would bring up, hey, I'm medically exempt, and by law, the American Disabilities Act, you can't even ask me about it. Or you're liable. I'll sue you, not this company, not this building, not your boss. I'm going to sue you. And to this day, not one of them gave a damn. They're like, whatever, you're going to wear the mask. I don't care. Go ahead, try to sue me.
Well,
it doesn't matter to people. They don't believe that they're liable. Somebody's got to sue one of these rent-a-cops to get these security people to realize I am the one on the hook, not this building. It's me.
When I rang up the Human Rights Commission to complain about that day, they told me that they were 6 months behind, and that was about a month ago, on everything. People having proper medical certificates and being arrested by the police. One bloke was a 60-year-old bloke just about to go to work, walking in the botanical gardens with his wife. Cops come up and said, where's your mask? Offered him a mask. He said he's got an exemption. They basically threw him to the ground and put cuffs on him, and then he started having an epileptic fit and went and had a heart attack. And he's having a heart attack. There's cuffs on him at the back of him.
Right.
You
And
know,
that
and he had an exemption. So my dad, being in fear of that, put it on where he's got a pacemaker and he shouldn't be wearing it. Can barely
Right.
take 10 steps without being puffed as it is. You
Right.
know, like
Right, no joke. Well, I was telling you about the commercial or the deal during the football game about the stations that they were putting at the stadium. Well, they also talked about one, and I screamed when I heard it. A whole campaign to get the kids with autism shot up. What? These kids? More than likely, their autism is caused from an injury of a jab, and now you're
yeah.
hey, we're going to set up a special place just to do them. Just to do them. We're setting up a nice little cozy place.
Hey, I don't know if you've heard of this. I heard the last few weeks I've been looking into it that polio is like a inflammation of the spine. Like polio is inflation, mitis is something to do
Right.
with the fluid and stuff around it. That poliomyelitis, it was actually a reaction from the jabs, the influenza jabs. Have you
Right.
heard that from the 1900s?
Yeah, there's been all kinds of stuff about that stuff. There's
And that polio was named, no, it's not named after a virus, it's named after the thing itself. Have you heard that?
I hadn't heard that exact one. I did watch a deal about where early in the vaccines they knew that using the rhesus monkey liver cells was, one scientist even said, this is going to in the future create a huge cancer problem. And they kept using those monkey cells because they needed to get the vaccines out.
Yeah.
And even in the 50s and 60s, there were scientists and people in these researches going, wait, this doesn't work. We can't use that. And they're like, we got to get this out.
Yeah.
We got to do this, I don't think, and half of them are going, I don't think it's going to be a problem in the future. And the other one's going, nah, it probably is going to be. And they were like, well, you're fired. See
Yeah,
you.
like we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to go with the program. You're fired. You're done. And then discredit them and, do their whole thing and move forward with the agenda.
Yeah.
What's gotten me over the last several years doing all this research is the documents that have been found where they knew the outcomes of all these things they were doing. And it was on purpose. That's what they were looking for. It wasn't by accident. Wow, look what we found. We were doing research. Whoa, this is crazy. No, it's like, we want this outcome. How do we get it? Frequency, let's try, whatever we can find to get a control mechanism that's the most subtle control mechanism ever. And that's been the beauty of it. This old programming, all of it's been the most subtle system ever put out. It's an invisible program, and nobody realized it till the trap was shut, the door was locked. You're there. You're done. What you gonna do now?
Who blocks Scotty?
I did.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't see. I just saw. Yeah.
I don't want that going on.
No, I didn't see what was going on. I was talking to you.
I
What other thing I was gonna say two things. One thing is about, I don't know if you noticed, years ago they put that new RDFI chip in the passports, and it's so tiny that you couldn't see it in it.
Right.
Have you seen the new chip licenses that they do around the world? It's like a SIM card in your phone. It's got like an RDFI chip. I put mine in the microwave and turned it on for a minute. It doesn't work. They can't track me now.
when they started doing our new driver's license here in Texas, it's got an RFI on the back.
Yeah, that's what mine had.
There are a couple of places, liquor stores here now, swipe your driver's license when you buy liquor.
Well, we have that here in Australia. You want to go into a nightclub, you got to swipe your license. Yeah, you can't go into the nightclub unless you show your identity, and that goes onto a system. And if you get in trouble, you get banned from all the places. Yeah. But what I wanted to ask about that is, with the new money that Australia's been developing the last sort of 25 years, I'm questioning if they've got RDFI little trackers in the money. There's a little thing in the notes, and they all always seem to find huge amounts of money. really easily. And it's like in America, you got guys on the highway patrolling, and I don't know if they've got some sort of device that's in there, beep, 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 you know, like the old TVs in Britain where
Right.
they go around with that device to pick up the RF signals.
Right. That's how they find all these stashes.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, you know, do they drive around with some sort of RF signal device looking for money?
I wouldn't
know?
doubt if in the last 20 years they had some kind of graphene RFI technology embedded, because the graphene is so small. I don't see a problem with them embedded.
That's what I was thinking, because like we've had a few things here in Australia happen, and I'm just looking thinking, how did that happen? You know,
Yeah.
like I don't get how the police can stumble across something like that. If there was no one to dob them in, how did they just come across it? How?
Right.
Just
Right.
doesn't make sense, you know.
And remember the line in the movies of the bad guys always say, "I want $500,000 in unmarked bills."
Yeah, it could be
I never
why
really
unmarked.
understood what that meant. I mean,
Yeah, unmarked is in not tracking. Yeah.
yeah, what is unmarked? Because I
Yeah.
understand that they have a batch that they know all the serial numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I don't want a serial number matching batch. I want randoms, right? You know, don't give me matching batches. And I just never understood what, you know, marked bills were. Sure, there's those with the ink bomb in it.
Yeah.
Is that marked? That's in the bag. You know?
Yeah, they throw that in the bag when you,
You know, so what did that ever really mean? Unmarked bills. What did they think? They're going to take each bill and put a little check mark on it somewhere, going, yeah, see, we hit a mark right here. You know, now we know it's that money. We hit a little smiley face in the corner.
Yeah.
You know, it's something stupid like that. I just never understood that.
Yeah, and I've seen things, I don't know if it's true, but they're making new money for America. That's what made me sort of question it the other day. Have you heard of
They put
that?
out new money here all the time. They've been
Do they?
changing the money for a long time. Yeah, our 20s, our hundreds, all of our money over the last 10 years, they've totally almost swapped it all out. You can't find an old bill anymore.
Oh, really?
Everything has the hologram in it. Everything has the safety strip in it. It's got so many safety things on it. You know, it doesn't even feel like money anymore.
Ours is plastic.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to say is, sorry to interrupt. Another thing I was going to say is the government has changed the laws from where if you went at work and you had to be having a medical procedure and you got a sustained injury from that medical procedure, the Occupational Workplace and Health and Safety would pay for your wages and your medical and all of that kind of stuff. The other week, the government rushed through a bill in Parliament that said that the government was not going to be liable for anyone that is injured and would not be paying any compensation, that anyone that forces an employee to be jabbed and gets injured, that they become liable for any future medical bills or any future compensation.
They're pushing it onto the employer.
So this is what makes me think that these people, like the states, have the power and all that, and the corporations are saying, you got to do it, you got to do it. But with this new law pushed through, I think they might, like, we had one big supermarket company turn up today and say, we're not going to do that to our staff. They've been working through the whole thing. That we've had no one sick. If they choose to do it, that's their choice, but we're not going to mandate it. And I will shop there now. I will, you know, abandon the other places and go and shop.
There's got to be some of those pop up, and we know there's enough of us out there that, you know, I was thinking the other day, why there's enough doctors, nurses, anesthesia, you name it, every specialty. There's enough of us that, if we're forced, we can start our own hospital, our own clinic.
Correct.
We
You
can
know,
do it.
and even if you
We
had
have the knowledge.
even if you had like a chemical chemist that could make compounds, you could make your own medicine. You know, it's not that hard really. And if you go back to nature and use botanical medicine and not pharmaceutical medicine, then the botanical medicine is better for you.
Right.
You know,
I was
like
watching Crow Triple that he's got an expert on cannabis on there, and the guy's going through the pharmacology of cannabis. And geez, with just cannabis, we could stock our pharmaceutical needs for just about everything.
Yeah.
Just about. It's such a versatile plant. And that's what's so sad about this world. That
You know what I don't get, right? Hemp, right? You don't need as much water to grow hemp as
Right.
cotton, right? Hemp is more durable than cotton. Hemp produces more than cotton. So why are we growing so much cotton and wasting so much water?
Hey,
Money.
Our founding fathers grew hemp. They were hemp farmers. It was a wonderful product.
I know it was the Rothschilds with the oil industry, but are they going, like they're talking about, stepping back the oil industry and all of that? Are they going to stop with the cotton because the cotton is ruining the land?
No.
Are they going to stop with the drag nets that drag the bottom of the ocean and kill the coral and take everything with it? Are they going to stop taking the sand out of the ocean?
No.
That is what's killing the earth and burning the rainforest. Like the rainforests don't really have much to do with what we breathe. Most of our oxygen comes from the ocean. The
Yeah.
ocean is what we need to worry about. You know?
Well, they know all this. They know.
Oh yeah, that's like all those like the WWE, the dolphin one on the tunes, a fish saying it's not dolphin. All of those companies actually pay, Greenpeace and all that to do disinfo to say
Sure.
that no, they're not doing the damage. It's us that's doing the damage.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's been that campaign, gosh, that I can remember. It's been us. It's been the Indians standing there crying in the commercial when somebody throws their trash on the.
Oh, I remember that with the car going past and the Indian there with the tear.
Yeah.
He wasn't even an Indian; he was an Italian bloke. I remember that. Yeah.
But they started back then with this, you're polluting or don't pollute, we're going to kill the planet. And as they're ramping up the pollution, they're pushing the, hey, don't pollute deal. It's like, we're good guys, we're trying. But in the background, they're like, cheap energy, cheap products, just push it out, make money, 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 money. Let that petroleum flow, baby.
Yeah.
And really shut it off. And we really
something's got to stop. I think a lot of these microplastics are interfering with our body too.
Oh, the polymers? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, microplastics and all of that. Like if you look at that BHT polymer, it was causing some sort of neurological damage in children as well.
Shucks, do you think that's true? Or do you think they just eliminated him? Because they had a product, whether it was better or not.
I think it was done by Rudolf Diesel and Rothschild because in the 1900s, in the 1898s, he come up with that engine. And it was created to run on hemp biofuel.
Right.
And he had Rockefeller had the oil that he wanted to make a combustion engine, and he wouldn't make the money on the oil. He didn't know about the pharmaceutical industry then at that stage, but if he didn't get rid of the hemp industry, and if they didn't ban the hemp, his combustion car with Henry Ford and all of that would not have taken off, and oil would not. We would not be living like we are now. That's for sure.
And to Shucks's point there, I don't think anything natural that we used before was defeated and proven less effective than anything else. It was just kicked out of the game because it was too good. Worked. It was too good. It worked. It was efficient. It was
cheap to grow. You didn't need much water.
Exactly. You knew what you were going to get. They couldn't afford that. That makes them no money. That does them no good.
Well, see, they dam up the Murray River here in Australia for Cubby Cotton Station. It's one of the biggest cotton farms in the Southern Hemisphere. And they've basically drained those rivers, right? The floodplain harvesting. They take all the water from upstream and it gets to the stage where the rivers run dry, completely dry. 12-foot of river that should be deep, full of water, completely dry because of this floodplain harvesting. If they had hemp, they would not be using that amount of water. They'd still have the paddle steamers going up the river, and they don't now. The rivers used to be huge. You could have a paddle steamer going up.
Now nothing. That's crazy.
Now nothing. It's just dry creek bed. It's really sad to see it. And then at the start of that river, they've gone in and done fracking. So they've really gone to the mouth of the river where the aquifer is, and they've fracked so we can't drink it. We can't go and live off the land and drink that water.
Wow.
We'd be right. We would, most people that aren't sort of a system of the world could live off the land quite easily.
Right. Well, I grew up in the world's,
Hey, Nicole.
I guess the world's cotton epicenter. In West Texas cotton, that's what it's traded on the stock market is West Texas cotton. We got a big industry out
Have
here.
ya?
And out here is where all of the big subsidies started for farmers, where they would pay these farmers what they would have made on a crop to turn them under and not plant this year. And I remember as a kid when several farmers went to our church and we'd been to their houses and they had big cotton farms. And I just remember, the adults asking the guy, well, how's the crop this year? How's it going? He says, probably take the sub this year. Not worth it. Not going to make enough. So the government automatically goes, okay, the price is going to be about X. We'll give you this. And they're like, okay, that's good enough. And, and remember those things now. I'm like, why didn't one of those adults go, dude, don't buy into the government. Don't take their money. You're a farmer.
I've learned anytime the government subsidizes anything, I've noticed here in Australia with farms, especially the dairy industry, every time something is subsidized within a couple of years, that industry is on its ass. It's gone. And I think it's done deliberately.
Yeah, and it was just, and they came up out in West Texas with the second worst part besides subsidies. They came up with the soil bank, they called it. And if farmers have a certain amount of land, they'll pay them to put portions of land dormant into soil bank, they called it, for 7 years. They'll pay you, and that's biblical. That's biblical. They'll pay you X amount to put it in soil bank. And then you rotate and they'll pay you in 7 years for this chunk and then this chunk. And farmers were already doing it. Farmers were already
rotating the ground. Yeah,
they've always rotated crops. They just have. They've known it. And the government came in and went, we'll pay you to do what you've always been doing. And when we first heard about that out in West Texas, we were like, you got to be kidding me. They're going to pay you $1 million not to farm that section of land? Wow. Talk about easy peasy. You don't have no fuel. You have no labor. You have no supplies for a whole year. They just give you your money and you do nothing.
That's unreal.
I know. We couldn't believe it. We're like, that's our money you're giving them, dude. It's like, West Texas ran on cotton and oil. And those prices, if they weren't up right, it was bad times in West Texas. We've had several bust and booms in West Texas in my life alone. We've had 3 of them. Big boom, then a big bust.
Yeah, unreal.
Those oil field workers go out every single time and buy big old 3/4 1-ton trucks.
Yep.
Spend all the money, and then all of a sudden, boom, it shuts down, and there's nice new trucks in every used car lot.
Unreal.
They can't pay for them no more. They were making that big money and they were just spending it like crazy. My dad had 13 rent houses and like 7 or 8 of them were oil field back in the last boom. And within a week, they all couldn't pay their rent. They were all done. They couldn't pay their rent within a week.
Unreal.
Of the bus going down. They're calling my dad going, yeah, man, I lost my job, dude. I'm probably not going to be able to pay rent. My dad's like, well, you got 30 days to get out. Well, I got nowhere to go, man. What am I going to do? I don't have a job. It's like, that's not my problem. What do you want me to do? Let you live here free? It happens every time. And these people need to learn. But I know what you're saying with the cotton and the fracking. It's just everywhere around here.
That's unreal. I didn't know that Texas had that much cotton there.
Oh, yeah. West Texas cotton fields, baby. Flat, and you just see cotton. It looks like snow. From between Big Spring, where I grew up, in Lubbock, it's 120 miles, and it's nothing but cotton fields. Straight Highway 87, both sides, as far as you can see, cotton fields, and some peanuts. What's crazy? They started doing peanuts out in West Texas, and they came to find out that you can only farm peanuts on a piece of ground for about 10 years, and it destroys the soil. You ain't able to grow anything else out there. It just destroys it. And they did peanuts. They even put in a little freaking processing plant and stuff out there, and now peanuts are just about gone. They're about done.
Wow.
There.
I don't think they make much of them here anymore. We used to have a big place near Kingaroy here,
But a lot of people are allergic to peanuts. There's just not a demand for it anymore. You know, you used to see peanut products everywhere.
Right.
You just don't see them. You used to see them sitting on the side of the road selling the nuts. You don't see it now. You don't see them selling the macadamia nuts or anything like that.
Right. Nashville. Alan's up again. Come here. Settle down. Well, it's almost 2 hours out. I'm so glad you came on.
That's great. Thank you. Great to see you.
Yeah, you hang in there, baby. You got our prayers. Big
Thank
prayers.
you. Thank
We-
you.
You know, we know it ain't easy. You're so stoic in all this. I can't believe how calm you've been in all this. I would be flipping my shit. I'd be losing my mind. I'd already been put in jail. I'd already been pushing back against the system.
I got my faith in the Lord, and I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of the system. I've had a pretty hard life. I'm not scared of nothing.
No,
the Lord's got my back. You know.
No,
I've always been protected. I should have been dead 100 times over. I've always been protected. When your number's up, your number's up. You know. My job. I'm not finished yet. I've still got a job to do.
Amen.
You know?
Right. Amen.
So I appreciate those prayers. You have a fantastic day. And I say thank you to Lee. Hi, Nicole. I've missed you. I haven't seen you about. I've been flat out, and I miss your chats, girl. Shucksville. Hi, Type X. We got Dwayne. We got me. Yeah, I changed the channel name. Just something different.
Yeah, people realize you changed their channel.
Yeah. Hi, Rebecca.
Right.
Tony.
I'm so
It's great to see you
grateful
again, Tony.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for everybody that tunes in, and Elle, for you to come on. You really mean a lot to us. Everybody out there, y'all got to admit, somebody like Elle in her position, her sticking on that narrow path is such a great example, of a Christian who walks it. They don't just talk it; you walk it, and I'm telling you, I admire you, babe. I admire you. That's tough. I don't know what I'd do.
It's not easy, there are days where I just don't, I open the Bible and I just read and read and read. And those days, I listen to a lot of 432 healing music.
Me too.
And when I get really overwhelmed, I go spend time with my family.
There you go.
Because
Chill with
that's what
everybody.
it's about. I just tune everything, tune out, and we go do something together. Do you know what I mean? And just spend time with family. Because I know time is short, and that's the most important thing. And sadly, I don't think all my family will make it to heaven. I really
And
don't think.
you did all you could. You did.
I tried. I tried. I tried. So.
But we love you. God bless you, everybody. Discernment, good vibrations. Love your fellow man. Walk that narrow path, guys.
God bless you all. Bye bye. Raise your vibrations. Bye.